Now at 6, an investigation begins into the death of a woman at the Webb City jail. Plus, Kansas could join a number of states prohibiting cell phone use in the classroom. And we're going to meet Pittsburgh's brand new fire chief.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Missouri Highway Patrol steps in to investigate after a woman dies in the Webb City jail. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Last night, Webb City police were preparing to transfer a woman from the Webb City jail to the Jasper County jail when she was found unresponsive in her cell. Despite immediate CPR and emergency efforts, she was pronounced dead. The woman, identified as 41-year-old Terry Gaston of Joplin, had been arrested Monday for driving while intoxicated as a persistent offender and for child endangerment. Authorities, including the Missouri State Highway Patrol and Jasper County coroner, are conducting an independent investigation. An autopsy is scheduled for today. Looking at the possibility of some stormy weather ahead, let's check in with meteorologist Austin Stantz.
Yeah, thanks, Dow. So the commute hour in full effect tonight. Now, the commute hour tomorrow morning, that's going to be a different story. But for right now, things remain dry and calm on the roadways tonight. 6:01 is the current time, 62 degrees right now. Boy, is it still mild out there. Winds out of the south, 11 miles per hour for tonight, or at this moment. Heading into the evening, we're going to see overcast skies begin to blanket the area. That's really going to contain our warm air at the surface tonight, keeping things very mild overnight. But some showers and thunderstorms that we're going to be dealing with heading into tomorrow morning. We have this surface low that's going to be passing along with this warm front that's going to bring in a ton of moisture to fuel these thunderstorms. Actually, 2 waves of thunderstorms is what we're going to be looking at for tomorrow. Coming up, we're going to get a deeper dive into these storms and timing and what you can expect and how it can affect you in my full forecast.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. A Kansas bill would prohibit students from using personal electronic devices like cell phones during class, with some exceptions. There are several local school districts that already have restrictions, but this bill would make it statewide. KOAM's Tanya Bach takes a closer look.
From a smartwatch to wireless earbuds, Kansas students could be experiencing a policy change statewide. Kansas Senate leaders introduced a bipartisan bill on January 6th banning cell phones and other electronics in K-12 classrooms. Not only would students have to have personal electronics turned off, but also inaccessible during class. Senate Majority Leader Chase Blasey says phones interfere with learning and social development, stating, quote, "We will ensure students can flourish, grow, and be free from digital pressure that weighs so heavily on a child's mental and physical health." The proposed rule includes phones, tablets, computers, smartwatches, and wireless headphones. The bill allows exceptions for students who need devices for medical reasons or special education plans, and students could still contact parents using school-provided phones. If passed, school boards would have until September 1st to adopt the new policies. For KOAM News, I'm Tanya Bach.
That bill would also restrict school employees from using social media to communicate privately with students. If passed, Kansas would join more than 30 states banning cell phones in the classroom. The Nevada, Missouri Fire Department is seeing a significant change. After operating with a 4-man crew for nearly half a century, an extra firefighter will now be on duty during all shifts. They say this will make it easier for the department to answer multiple calls at once, as well as send more firefighters to any one call when the situation calls for it.
We go on calls. If we have that extra person or an extra person on duty, it's safety. In case somebody gets hurt, we're able to handle multiple different calls at one time if that does arise. We have a lot of overlapping calls, so if we need to, we can split up crews and respond to multiple calls at one time.
In addition to their most recent hire, the department hopes to hire 2 more firefighters, one in July, another at the end of the year. Pittsburgh Fire Department swore in their new fire chief this week. KOAM's Mitch Adams sat down with the new chief to learn about his background and his plans.
A new face has entered the Pittsburgh Fire Department. Jack Spencer, a Valley Center, Kansas native, was sworn in this week as the new fire chief. Being a firefighter has taken him all over the world and has now brought him back home to Kansas.
So I'm originally from Valley Center, Kansas. Grew up there, graduated from high school there. When I was in high school, I joined the Wichita Fire Department Explorer program. Did that for a couple years, and then after I graduated from high school, I decided I was going to pursue college.
He volunteered as a firefighter while attending the University of Maryland, and then took a huge step to a much larger career.
It just so happened that when I was graduating from college, the Washington, D.C. Fire Department had a open application process, and so I applied and got hired. So I started there in 2000, and then worked up through the ranks, ending at battalion fire chief, and was in charge of special operations for one of the shifts there. And then retired in December of 2025.
He retired after 25 years in D.C., finding himself in Pittsburgh, serving an entirely different community.
And being in Pittsburgh, it's just been perfect. It is the right size department for me, and to be able to help guide some of the younger guys that are here, and I just absolutely love being a part of this.
Spencer hopes to bring his experience from his long career to serve Pittsburgh's community to the best of his ability.
I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. It's one of those things where I never thought I would be able to come back to Kansas, and so now that I've given this opportunity, I hope to make the most of it.
In Pittsburgh, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Spencer says he hopes to apply his experience working high-level events in D.C. to community events in Pittsburgh. The Joplin Police Department launches a new crime-fighting tool. The Joplin PD app allows folks to provide anonymous information. Joplin's chief of police says the new app will help solve crimes in the community while protecting the identities of anonymous citizens. Officers receiving crime tip information cannot see the reporting person's identity, location, or IP address. If the person providing a tip so wishes, officers can also have a two-way conversation with that person without revealing their identity. The app is a free download. Some families in Southwest Missouri face tough challenges when it comes to paying for prescription drugs. Coming up, one pharmacist shares his business's secret for success and savings. For a lot of people in Southwest Missouri, paying for prescription drugs without insurance can make for some difficult decisions. Chris Bryant talked to a pharmacist about making sure those in need can afford their medications.
They're just great. They're able to help so many people in the community that need meds at a reasonable price, because as we know, medications are crazy expensive.
Neighbors Pharmacy is the only charitable pharmacy in Missouri and has seen steady growth since it opened, with patient growth up 24% and prescription growth around 48% in 2024.
Patients are not just like here to get their medication, but are people with major concerns about their health, about their life, about how to handle all these things. It's going to be here, neighbors.
The pharmacy mainly serves Stone and Taney counties, where nearly 50% of the homes fall below the cost of living threshold.
It's difficult because people oftentimes can't afford the medications that they come in for, and I can't tell you how many times I had to say, you know, this is the copay on your medicine, and I'm sorry, but it's $200, $300, and they turn away disheartened because they can't afford it.
Funded through grants and mostly charitable donations, the pharmacy uses a $10 a month fee. And with that, the uninsured in the state can get their medications at no cost outside of the monthly subscription.
Talking about people who are living paycheck to paycheck, people who don't have insurance because they can't afford it on the marketplace, and we know that thousands of people have decided not to go with insurance this year because the prices have gone so high.
Generic medications, patient assistance for name brands, diabetes testing supplies, pharmacist counseling, and medication management are all included. In addition, some over-the-counter items are part of the membership, and certain labs are available for a little extra money.
Like, I've seen firsthand here how vitally important it is to have pharmacists in a rural setting or any setting, because often pharmacists can be like the only healthcare provider that patients have access to.
Over the past year, the pharmacy has dispensed more than 20,000 prescriptions, worth about $2.5 million in costs. To qualify, you have to be uninsured and fall within the household income requirements. For example, a single person making less than $46,950 can easily qualify as a member, and a family of 4 making $96,450 are eligible.
What I would say is if you're not able to afford your medicine, give us a call. If we're not able to help you here, we'll find a way to help you.
In addition, Missouri also has some programs designed to help low-income families cover the cost of prescription medication. There's MoRx for one, and the Missouri Drug Card can provide up to 75% savings on prescriptions. A little bit later, why some schools in southwest Missouri want to start the school year earlier in the year.
Thursday morning could be a little loud. Some strong storms getting ready to roll through the 4 states. Details coming up. Now, our Wednesday has been quiet and calm, and fortunately, conditions are going to be changing for us. We have some much needed rainfall on the way, but it is going to come with some strong storms as well, so we have to be aware of that. Now, taking a look at current temperatures outside right now, seeing 60s still south of 44 right now, 58 in Lamar, 58 Pittsburgh, 62 there in Joplin currently. A very mild evening tonight. We're going to expect temperatures to hold steady in the mid-50s overnight tonight thanks to that blanket of cloud cover that'll begin rolling in tonight. A brief shower overnight can't be ruled out, but the stronger storms are going to be rolling through between 6 and 10 a.m. So a pre-dawn shower is not out of the question, but the heavier storms are going to be when we're waking up, trying to get ready to head out the door, get the kids on the bus. So it's not the most convenient time for these storms to be making their way through the region. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has us at a 1 out of 5 or a marginal risk of severe weather. The main threats we're going to be concerned about are going to be wind, potential for a few damaging wind gusts, and hail anywhere from pea size up to quarter-sized hail. There is a very low tornado risk, not a zero tornado risk, but it would be a brief spin up if we did see anything. So we're keeping a close eye on those models and the storms that will be moving in heading into tomorrow morning. Let's get a look at what we're checking out here. So we have moisture just flowing in tonight. We have a bunch of cloud cover on the way for us. Now, this is something to take into consideration. Moisture is a big indicator for CAPE values. That's one of the variables that CAPE values take into consideration. Another is surface temperature or surface warmth. We're going to have plenty of that as well. We are well above average for this time of year heading into January. Another one is called lapse rates. So as air rises, if it cools rapidly, that is a steep lapse rate, which indicates an unstable atmosphere. That is what we're seeing with part of this, but only a modest lapse rate. What we're also seeing is high shear levels. High shear levels, especially bulk shear, is what's going to be forcing these storms to roll in. And you notice that we start to see kind of a well-defined line here. We're going to see mainly a wind risk as these storms are blowing through. And winds are already going to be 25, 30 miles per hour before storms get here. So these could easily reach 50, 60 miles per hour. Check out these temperatures still in the 60s. That means that the environment will allow for some regeneration of storms behind that first line, because we're still going to have an environment that supports storm development here with all this moisture and warm air. So a second line begins to develop there around 10 o'clock in the morning. Things begin to quiet down heading into the afternoon hours. That first line pushing through out of the area, that second line getting ready to head out of our eastern communities here around 12, 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, things are calming down. It's getting quiet out there. Temperatures still, take a look, upper 60s there. Cold front has not passed just yet. That's going to happen as we head into the overnight hours into Thursday. As I mentioned, already going to be windy out there. Take a look at this. Already in the 30 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even 40 heading into Thursday morning. So easily could see some wind gusts 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour with some storms. Could warrant a severe thunderstorm warning or two heading into your Thursday. Keep that in mind as you're heading out the door. As far as how much rainfall we're going to see, boy, do we need it. Everyone is going to see some rainfall, whether you see a 1/10 of an inch or possibly up to 1.5 inches in our far northwestern communities. Now, taking a look over the next 7 days and what we can expect as this first system passes, we're going to see a back edge of that come through with some colder air that could bring the potential for a wintry mix overnight Friday into Saturday. Saturday afternoon, things clear up, 44 degrees. We're back into 48 and clear on Sunday, back into the 50s next week, but another system looks to move through. We have some winter weather on the way as we head into the 3rd week of January, but first we got to get through some potential severe weather, but some much needed rainfall.
And I know you and the rest of the weather team will be keeping a close eye on it for us.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Austin. Hey, don't forget you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Still ahead, the Joplin girls basketball team takes on Central, and you might have the best seats in the house. KOAM, Jet HD, and MSSU bring you the game live in just a few minutes. We have information on how you can stream the game free of charge. 8 schools in southwest Missouri are asking the Department of Education for permission to start the school year early. Emma McDarris talked to some school representatives about why they hope to open the doors before most other schools do.
Some schools are asking the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to be allowed to start class earlier than the state law allows, which currently is 14 days before the first Monday in September. The 2026 and 27 school year is scheduled to begin no sooner than August 24th. Nixa school leaders say that late start would make their semesters imbalanced and gives them less time for preparing for state testing.
Our state testing window where we test for state, it's kind of the same time, so it's just that question, are we getting those days of learning in before state testing or after?
Also asking for permission to begin the semester early, Ash Grove, Wablo, Monette, Marionville, Dadeville, Stockton, and Walnut Grove.
What's best for kids in Walnut Grove may be different for kids in Sedalia and kids in other places in Branson and things like that. So I just am a big proponent of making local decisions that's best for our kids.
The State Board of Education is scheduled to take up the request next week. DESE has not responded to phone calls and emails asking for comment.
A couple of southwest Missouri schools are going to hit the hardwood in about 20 minutes, and you can watch the game live. KOAM, Jet HD, and MSSU team up to bring you Joplin versus Central girls basketball. Starting at 6:45 tonight, you can check out the game streaming live on KOAM Plus. Now, if you don't have KOAM Plus, well, don't worry. Just scan this QR and it's game on. That's Joplin versus Central streaming live on KOAM Plus. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. It's day 3 of a double homicide trial in Cherokee County. We're going to have the latest. Plus, students could find their wages garnished if they have unpaid loans. And we'll have highlights from Joplin girls basketball versus Central Springfield. Those stories, a lot more, of course, it's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. You're going to want to stay in touch with our weather team tonight and through the day tomorrow because we're looking at the possibility of some storms.
Yes, a much needed rainfall. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little loud when it arrives. Some strong storms on the way, an isolated storm in the pre-dawn hours of Thursday, but a more widespread storm set up in the between 6 and noon on your Thursday morning and early afternoon.
I know you'll keep us posted as necessary. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.